Because you as an adult, you with the fully formed brain, should have no interest at all in talking to children and wanting to do anything with children whatsoever, bro.
Greg, or more so the guy who played Greg, was in a romantic relationship with a 15-year-old girl.
It's a scam. Ohio the anime is a scam.
This is just racist at this point. Like, it's really obvious this is voiced by him, and I'd be surprised if it's not, but like, dude.
Hiroshi Man really said to me that he doesn't think Marcos would have a relationship with Emmy because she was unattractive. I'm not joking, he really thought the whole relationship didn't happen because Emmy was unattractive to him.
So that's how he got all that money that he shows in the videos. By scamming his fans into paying.
Lassen is telling him how Greg is planning to have his way with this girl, whether she wants to or not, when she inevitably denies him, because the laws are less strict about that kind of stuff in Japan. This is the guy who is having a relationship with a 15-year-old girl, and when confronted with evidence, denied it ever happened.
I voice acted long enough to know that this stuff never happens. You don't pay to get a role.
You've seen the kind of messages he sends. High functioning or not, this 19-year-old knows exactly what he did and what he's doing to try to make sure no one else knows about it. I'm gonna just tell you right now, Greg, aka Marcos White, is still working for Black the Anime.
The year is 2017. An interesting year to say the least, but something, well, insane would happen. In the last couple days of the year, Logan Paul would form a body in the Aokigahara forest. That's been talked about 20 million times, but our certain individual would be watching that whole incident go down and saw his opportunity to get clout.
Since I'm a Japanese maverick, I deserve to have a platform. And the guy who died should be lucky to be in Logan Paul's vlogs. I'd do anything, even that, to be in Logan Paul's vlogs, because you get recognized by a lot of people, you know, millions of people. And since I'm a maverick, we do different things. So even though a normal person would not film it, we're mavericks, so we film it anyway. So, maverick style.
Now, whether he did this to actually defend Logan Paul or out of pure loyalty by judging from his future behavior, he might have done it for attention. But after this, our friend here would stay mostly silent, uploading a Fortnite video, which, God, this thumbnail says a lot. He wouldn't start posting until
affected countries has tripled. There are now more than 118,000 cases in 114 countries, and 4,291 people have lost their lives.
2020, a year that was full of things.
Hey Timmy, when's recess?
Part 2 of my rental girlfriend. If you don't know what happened, let me catch you up. So basically, I hopped on this app called Fiverr, you can buy gigs, services, and girlfriend.
What do I do for fun? I watch Rick and Morty and listen to XXXTentacion.
Yeah, it was, well, insane. TikTok was existing, and maybe some of you remember the big anime boom around this time. And you might recall people making TikToks asking for animators, voice actors to make their own anime, and most of them ended up falling through. Probably because they realized no one works for free, especially artists. But one guy around this time wouldn't get the message, and would actually release an anime. It was this fucking slimeball. Meet Lassen, the creator of Black the Anime. Yes, that's the name. Yeah, this show was overwhelmingly full of way too many problems, and not surprisingly, users on Twitter would mass flag the channel and videos, leading to it getting terminated.
I do not want to make this video, but the channel containing the movie, all of my episodes, and literally all the animation me and my friends been working on since May 2018 has been terminated. We had 0 strikes, but it said we had severe violations. This means someone literally spam reported all of our videos. I spent most of my high school life with my friends making these videos, and I know nobody's gonna see them anymore. and it sucks.
Which I don't know what he really expected. Lassen's main excuse was his friend Greg, quote unquote, hid these type of jokes in the script, which again was just another attempt at Lassen getting out of hot water with the community for what he did. This was one of the first instances of him being an annoying edgelord. This was also one of his first attempts at rage baiting, which worked less and less every time. For the show itself, I could say 2 words, I could say a million words. Just look at it. It's not good. It doesn't look good. It's not well animated, and its villains are, you expect this out of some weird edgelord. This is also one of the few instances where he did have to deal with the consequences of his actions. Also, it's probably the only time you see him being genuine with his audience. Comparing this response to a future response, you could see this is one he actually cares more about. Also, considering his future responses were mostly satirical and only there just to be a response and nothing more, to not really address anything but more as a gotcha to his critics, again is very weird. But he wouldn't stop at his channel being terminated. He would make a new channel and keep uploading videos. But what a surprise, he would be swept up in another controversy. Lassen would then get swept in another controversy in under 3 months. Like, how is that even possible? This time around, it was accusations of grooming. He would address this in a not so great way. Pretty much his response is, he's playing a character. Of course he's not being serious. Why would you take him seriously? Then as to why he's writing things like this in his Discord server is beyond me. So pretty much in response, Lassen thought it was a good idea to say, I'm gonna groom you to a bunch of random individuals to piss them off, I guess. This reactionary behavior backfired on him, and is something he continued to do throughout the rest of his controversies. Also, him saying things to deflect the blame off of him, like he's a minor himself, he can't groom minors, and that he hasn't matured since quarantine. He also thinks it's a good idea to defend his anime by saying he's a storyteller. To rub even more salt in the wound, he ends the video by going back into character. Awful stuff.
You're probably not going to hear from me again for a while, but you are going to hear from Hiroshi, man! Ha! Yeah! I dare you to swat me. I dare you to do your worst, fan club. I mean hate club. I don't care about the haters. I'm an anime protagonist.
To say this was the start of grooming with these people would be an understatement. March 6, 2021. Commentary YouTuber Plantation Soup would catch one of the members working on Black the Anime coming off the midst of doing something horrible, with a video simply titled Black the Anime Exposed, where he covers the gross negligence of moderators on the Black the Anime Discord server, from stopping racism to being involved in grooming a minor, or more so minors, as Lassen himself contributed to this, but more on that later. The moderators on this server were even trying to cover up that this happened. The idea of this video was to show the fuckery going on in this server, as Soup had problems with the server in previous videos, but this time it being genuinely serious. Grooming of minors is sadly something a lot of creators have participated in, with no exception to Black the Anime. While not as comedical as Lassen's grooming allegations, this was actually grooming. Soup would reveal that Greg the Brony, aka Marcos White, was grooming an underage girl that, for all sakes and purposes, we'll call T. Greg, over the course of weeks, would start getting close to T, with him eventually getting nude photos of her chest and even setting it as his wallpaper. Also, masturbate on FaceTime with a minor. Soup's normal response to this was to warn people in the server about Greg, but some bad actors would warn the mods before Soup's video could release. By the mods protecting Marcos from an exposed video and Lassen showing what he really thought of this,
Hiroshi Man really said to me that he doesn't think Marcos would have a relationship with because she was unattractive. I'm not joking. He really thought the whole relationship didn't happen because unattractive to him.
It would inevitably backfire, with even more screenshots ending up being shown in Soup's video, along with his identity. Hiding behind the Greg persona could only work for so long. They would even still try to use this excuse after all the evidence was released. Soup ended up releasing another video 3 weeks after the first one, showing that Black the Anime still supported Marcos. Marcos even tried to defend himself by stammering through a Google Slides explanation, trying to use the classic "she came on to me" while talking about the 15-year-old girl. He even tried to throw in as many buzzwords as he could to make him sound smart. Most of this video is Marcos claiming he didn't groom anyone, while screenshots and victim testimony claim otherwise. The more jarring things Marcos claimed was he didn't put T's nudes as his wallpaper because she weaponized it against him, that he changes his wallpaper every day. Also, he called it an addiction. Hilariously enough, he claims to have hardcore screenshots to disprove the claims made against him, while also showing none of them in his response. While this is yeah, this exists. Now, the rest of the video eventually devolves into a back and forth with Soup trying to convince the server members that Marcos is still working for the anime.
Admitted anything to Shino, because I asked Shino, I was like, okay, just be 100% honest with me. Has Greg told you that he did that? And Shino literally said, no, the only reason he hasn't gotten caught is because he refuses to admit it.
But again, they still tried to backtrack and even started promoting an OnlyFans in a Discord server that has minors. And they did the same old deny, delete, and run away, which has started to run dry at this point. But oh wait, it gets worse, because another one of the mods ended up being inappropriate with minors. And also to add to this, he's also a skinhead racist. The sad thing is, the girl that he ended up grooming ended up reflecting on it in a future TikTok. Also, this guy ended up suicide baiting and ended up saying this later on.
Need to learn. Need to burn. Fuck Rose Parks. Need to learn.
So hey, what a guy. It really can't get worse. Oh wait, there's more. There was another mod that was also grooming a minor. I'm so tired of this.
During this time, Crackhead repeatedly asked me for nudes, like while they were dating, while we were in 5v3s, and he would like call Remy hot and stuff and hit on her. May was like kind of tired of it, and so she decided to take a break from Crackhead because she had some personal stuff going on as well. And Crackhead didn't respect that, and he continued to harass her, like non-stop, texting her, calling her repeatedly without leaving her alone.
Imagine trying to make me look like a weirdo when you're the weirdo who's asking for other girls' nudes while you're dating an 8th grader. Imagine having to go to a middle school to pick up your girlfriend after you get out of high school. Couldn't be me. Could be Quackhead.
This whole saga of videos was to really highlight what kind of people that worked on Black the Anime are scum, to summarize it. The main deflection I've seen for a lot of this guy's actions have been, it's rage bait. Don't take it too seriously. He wants you to get mad at it. While this could be somewhat used for any of these older controversies to maybe the slimmest margin, they don't work for the other ones. You'll see later how much worse this guy got. Even looking at these older ones, they were still really bad. Shoving off the original Black the Anime as rage bait, sure, maybe, but still, there's such weird coincidences looking at the people he's around and the people he surrounded himself with. Is it really a coincidence at the end of the day? But sure, denying that something happened and deflecting it with humor would only really work for so long. And then having his own friend accused of doing the same thing he was accused of months earlier is either the funniest thing or kind of the saddest thing if you really look at it. But it still didn't end there. While the Soup saga would end, another beast started festering. Lassen ended up pivoting to a working title, Ohio the Anime, based on this shitty meme from 2022. He actually ended up generating enough hype for it to the point where he was able to do a server subscription where he got people to pay to be voice actors. One of the main players of the marketing was this well-known lolcow, Nova Online, which were one of many people promised to show up like Meowba, EDP, and Ice Spice. Nova working on this would show how little of a shit Lassen really gave, and shows that he really didn't listen to any of the previous criticisms, and him working with people like Nova to pretty much gain views from Shock Factor, which funny enough, Nova was the only well-known predator he was able to work with, as every clip of EDP he uses in his TikToks are the same over and over and over again. They're not even from him talking to EDP, it's from the Pack God vs EDP stream.
A fart, stupid ass boy, big long ass shotgun, fucking nose looking ass, big fat walrus lip.
The Ohio meme would end up dying, as most memes do, and Lassen would try to start up new projects, with none of them being successful. And the constant reminder of his comments to release the series, or more so episode.
Bro, pretending we forgot about the Ohio anime. Bro's girl's about to fall off.
Nova would eventually leave Ohio the Anime after finding out that Lassen was scamming his audience, and in turn getting his character cut from the final project.
But what I didn't know is that behind the scenes, Lassen was scamming people. Obviously, I did know about the charging people and all that, but what I didn't know is that he wasn't even contacting the people who were paying for parts in the anime.
Oh great, Nova has morals, something I wish he kept all this time. January 20th, 2023, a YouTuber named Underflow would drop a video discussing Lassen's past. At the time, recent actions of Lassen including, but not limited to, scamming their audience members to voice act by getting them to pay to get a role, including $11 to voice a side character, $30 to voice a main character. You could also be dropped from this project if they saw fit without any reasoning, and not refund your money on top of it. But this video also showed how their Discord server hasn't really changed in the span of 1-ish years. Them doing this, especially Shino, is extremely tone deaf considering what they did only a year prior. This type of behavior continued with Lassen teasing Ohio the Anime for months until giving an actual release date, July 29th, 2023. Ohio the Anime would end up dropping with more dislikes than likes, and the animation was still bad, the story being pretty basic, a continuation of Black the Anime Season 1, which the main goal of the story is still to become the blackest person in Zone 6. They pretty much get stuck in Ohio and fight EDP. Yeah, I'm not making this shit up, I'm also can't believe I said Ohio that many times. Which also adding a sneak diss to Soup with a character and even showing his video. Most of the reactions from people was saying how bad it was, the animation and editing especially was straining. I'm not even kidding, look at these cuts. He would end up getting fried in his TikTok comment section, leading to him making this video.
There were many parts of it you guys found good, but it just was overrun by the horrible editing and flashy effects. Bro, I'm some crackhead, bro. Oh my god.
This video is obviously another joke and justification for something he could have so clearly let fly under the rug. Also, he just admits his old apologies were not genuine, which was kind of funny.
Genuinely, you could say I've made a bunch of racist jokes in the past, bro, for making like the old anime, but I don't care about that. I'm genuinely not sorry about that. I'm sorry about this because I told you guys I was going to do something and I let you guys down. I didn't have an audience back then. Now I do. And now it's
He ends the video off by crying, which is why this video ain't serious. Funny enough, the top comment on the video pretty much explains the whole scam. He mentions in this video that he had other episodes planned, but considering it's been a year, it's pretty safe to say he only had the one. And the only other thing he did release was a sub of the first episode, which isn't any better. The only thing to come from this is most of his own community and people from the outside looking in never took him seriously. He was just remembered as the guy who made a terrible cartoon about one of the most unfunny memes. But from the ashes, it would spawn his last public stunt, a stunt that people would actually believe.
No money, no sister.
I have only 16 days left to live.
No house, no.
And he didn't just claim to have cancer. He faked his death.
No flower, no lover.
Lassen would make a TikTok every day showing how many days he had left to live, starting from 100, going down to 0. But this stunt was also to release another anime, Island Boys the Animes, which, who's naming these? The TikToks would start by showing his money count. The videos would get progressively worse, with Lassen even being shown in the hospital in a couple of them. He would then show what really causes unfortunate fate, Lassen claiming to have a terminal pancreatic disease, which is why he has a certain amount of time to live. The days would start decreasing and decreasing until it would hit one day, till he inevitably dies. But before he did, he drops his final video. So if it wasn't clear already, this is all fake, considering the fact he reuses the same clips from older videos, and on top of that, he still tried to tease a new anime with a meme that had a life cycle of about a day. Also, the cartoon he released is bad. The editing especially, it's still shit. Good to know nothing changed since last time. YouTuber DJ Cook would cover this whole thing, pointing out even more inconsistencies. But it didn't end here, it would continue with Marcos. Up to this point, Marcos would make the briefest appearance in his videos, but this was the most he appeared in since he showed himself in the original Black the Anime episodes. He plays the character of the new owner of the account, wanting to hold up Lassen's memory by promoting his new project. He would do this for 2 videos until he clears up the confusion that he is not Lassen, showing the bottom half of his face and voice. The video after he flexes his Lambo, he claims it was destroyed and asks for information on the people who destroyed it without showing anything like security footage to back up his claims, but my best guess is he probably returned it. Most of the evidence for this being fake is word of mouth, and also just look at the videos. There is one somewhat credible claim from a previous victim from the Black the Anime Discord server, Aku. In a TikTok, she would claim in the comments Lassen either ended up doing this stunt for clout or to not make any more TikToks, which 2 of 2 came true, as well as another individual who was close with Lassen coming out more recently, Megan. She would talk about Lassen knowing about Nova's grooming attempts in a TikTok, which add to that pile.
It was bad enough that even my former group that I used to associate myself with that did a lot of bad things decided to not talk to him because of how how bad it was. They still associated and talked to this guy, knowing and having literal videos of what he did before the public did. So I think that says a lot.
She would also say, responding in a comment, that Lassen isn't dead. Now, while I do have problems with what she did during the whole Soup saga, her more current actions show that she did grow up and accept that these people are horrible. So, good on you, Megan. Lassen would end up promoting Island Boys the anime, as well as try not to be in any more TikToks while pushing it to Marcos, but ended up just not uploading. This holds more weight considering he was being exposed for the scams he was running in his Discord server, so him faking his death would absolve him from taking any accountability. So it's pretty safe to assume Lassen faked his death. This series of videos being the last things ever posted by Lassen for the longest time, until Soup would return for another video revealing even more things that this group of individuals did. Looking at the date of the conversations, it was a day before Lassen posted his final video. As the video would go on, Megan would reveal even more. Marcos was yet again trying to groom another girl, and to make things even worse, was gonna essay somebody.
No, the charges in Japan for doing that would only be like a couple months. They don't take that stuff seriously at all. They don't take like molestation. No, they don't. They seriously don't. It's a very bad common issue in Japan.
And then I'm gonna fucking put him in cuffs and take him to the U.S. Embassy if that's how it's gonna go down.
That's why like he's kind of giving me hints like as like the plan C after plan B and plan A. Like
he's giving you hints.
I never said anything, guys. I think we were joking. I was joking about it. That, you know,
your thing to joke about.
I was just saying this, like, if all goes wrong, man, at least you'll be in a foreign country with laws that won't get you that much in trouble. And I would never wish this upon any single human being at all, but I'm just saying that Kobe is someone I kind of dislike. I wouldn't wish that on her, I guess.
He was gonna commit another crime, in another country no less, which Lassen would have presumably played defense for him, which is what he's doing in this clip, downplaying certain things like mentioning Japan's laws not being strict on SA.
We were in a crowd and he put his hands like on my hips and I just peeled that fucker off immediately because no, and he didn't try anything after. Yeah, because like I said, he unsuccessfully groomed you. I don't think I've ever seen someone spend that much time trying to groom a girl only to have everything they've ever worked for be denied in a matter of seconds.
Looking back at all the apologies and claiming Marcos' removal, Lassen never cared about Marcos doing these terrible things, and still doesn't. Thankfully, Marcos never did what he wanted to do, but Lassen also participated in this grooming of minors. How did that old excuse work for you? Not too great. It's pretty much the Spider-Man meme over and over again. Black the Anime is a tale of running and hiding, not being able to take accountability, thinking you've escaped, but the reality is you didn't. Your past will always come back, and will be there as a constant reminder for you, and for people to scrutinize, for not being able to stop your terrible actions. Lassen, maybe at some point, will have to look back on himself for what he's done, or maybe that's wishful thinking. But any new project Lassen tries to make will forever be associated with Black the Anime, and I think the constant reminder following him forever is one of the many forms of karmic justice he could be receiving. Maybe it's for the best that he's off the internet for the time being, but can we? Really knowing he's still out there, possibly planning a return, and based on his previous actions, he could still be helping his alleged groomer of a friend to get even more unsuspecting victims to him. As to why the unsettling fact that he's still out there not facing real-world actions is terrifying.
We were in a crowd and he put his hands like on my hips and I just peeled that fucker off immediately because no, and he didn't try anything after. Yeah, because like I said, he unsuccessfully groomed you. I don't think I've ever seen someone spend that much time trying to groom a girl only to have everything they've ever worked for be denied in a matter of seconds. And you guys wonder why he has to do this to 16-year-olds for shits and giggles. The 15-year-old reached out to me after seeing my videos and asked me to make a video about everything, meaning the sexual stuff that happened to her over FaceTime. And after about 2 years of everyone saying she was lying, even after seeing my videos, she took the phrase, "if you can't beat them, join them," in the most literal way possible. She went from telling me how she got suspended for smoking weed to asking me to delete the videos she asked me to make because she was back to talking to them behind my back, and this was her way of trying to trick me into deleting the videos.